Hey YouTube friends, Ben Ochart here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I want to look at some of the oddballs, what I consider the oddballs or the unusual fish in the aquarium. And let's start with the Lethrinops. And this is a Lethrinops albus. And you can see it's starting to get some of its beautiful colors. Eventually it'll have color throughout its body. It's not going to get too big, but it does get some very striking hues and different blues and different shades of green throughout the body. And it has been a bit slow to color up. It didn't color up as fast as its tank mate, Lethrinops, the red cap, which we'll get to in a second here. But you can see in the lips and throughout the body, you can start to see some beautiful colors coming in, and also some very nice markings and the outlines of where he's going to fill in. And so I believe he's going to end up being a very pretty fish. And of course there is his first cousin, the Lethrinops Red Cap. And this is a fish that I picked up as a very small uncolored up fry. And I believe I might have picked him up from Live Fish Direct, but he just exceeded all expectations with that blue in the face and that beautiful red, that red dome, and of course he reflects some beautiful color throughout the body, and of course you get that long trailing dorsal and the beautiful spots and markings in the dorsal, the tail, and the anal fin. He is just a real spectacular specimen. And when I used to show him, I used to get people would say, well, he's photoshopped, or it's just the lights. If it was just the lights, of course, all the fish would have those beautiful colors. And so he truly is just a special fish, a Lethrinops Red Cap, and he'll maybe put on maybe another ½ inch to an inch. He's not going to get that larger than this, and he's not going to go beyond the 60 gallon. I think this ultimately is going to be his home. He would be he'd be pretty abused in the 100, and of course he would never go in the 150. But as you can see, he is thriving, and as you know, his nickname is Photoshop, just to kind of go with the flow of anyone who was thinking that he might have been a little touched up in the photographs I was posting. So I have Lethrinops albus and Lethrinops Red Cap, and those fish are, of course, not fish that you see too common in the hobby. I also have in this tank another fish that gets a lot of comments, and that's this Placidochromis Jalo Reef. And again, this is a fish that'll probably put on another, I don't know, maybe max 2 more inches. And look at the beautiful dorsal fin. They have very, very large, beautiful fins, great markings, the yellow contrasting the blue. And this one holds his own as far as Placidochromis go. He'll go after fish occasionally, but nothing really ever comes of it. They don't get into really big battles. They are very placid, as the name implies. And he is, apart from that sulfur head, he is the fish in this tank that gets the most comments, and you can see why. He is just a very nice specimen. I believe I picked him up at, I believe I got this guy from Imperial Tropicals in Florida. They had sent me one before that I had been very, very happy with. And so I went ahead and ordered up a juvie and went ahead and grew him out. And this is what I ended up with. So you can see there, just a very pretty fish, very peaceful. I recommend him for, I wouldn't necessarily put him in with big Haplochromis. I wouldn't put him in with the Venusis or, a large Livingstone eye or something like that, or even a Fusco, because he'd probably get torn up. Certainly one of my favorites. Another fish that I have to classify as a bit of an oddball or an unusual fish has to be the OB. I mean, OBs are an interesting type of fish in our hobby. You have people who love them, and you have people who just hate them. I happen to be one of the people that love them. They got that name OB from orange blotch. Originally, they used to appear with orange blotches. Of course, over time now, they've morphed, right? They've bred them in a way that now you get yellows, you get blues, you even get some reds, different shades of yellow. So you see OBs now in many, many different colors. Some people call them OB peacocks. I've heard rumors about perhaps there's a little bit of Mabuna in them, but I like OBs. I love the variety that they add to the tank. Sometimes they can be aggressive. They can be, they have a little bit of that hap in them. That's part of the theory, that they might have some Haplochromos in them. This one has not been very, very aggressive. Of course, he grew out from a very small size where I was almost concerned that he was going to make it. But he's ended up really sort of finding a place in the tank. And he started to show, as his confidence goes up, he's starting to show some blue in the face, which is contrasting that orange in the body. I also have in this 60 a small Synodontis. Maybe you know what kind of a catfish this is. He has a little rock and tunnel system that he uses to get around in the tank. You'll see him here come in through that little ornament there. He'll go through that. He likes to stay in tight spots. He likes to be between rocks, but he does come out and compete for food, which is what you're seeing right now. I just did a feeding a little bit ago, and that usually will pull him out from his hiding spot. And as you can see here, he'll jump right in the middle of the feeding without fear. He'll get bumped around a bit. He is a smaller Synodontis. And I have a bristlenose in here. Sometimes people call them bushynose. This is your basic brown bushynose. The larger bristles, I believe, mean that it's a male. And this guy loves to be snuggled very tightly in between rocks. It gives him a sense of security, as you can see here. The tighter, the better. I also have just a regular pleco. This is the hardest working pleco in Los Angeles. You can see him here working some of these artificial plants from elite cichlids. And he's hard working in that he has to eat some of the algae that's around. He also gets some of the pellets that fall into the tank. And but he has to sleep with one eye open because he's in a tank with some pretty big and pretty aggressive fish. But he keeps the place pretty algae-free. There's a larger Synodontis. Someone mentioned that it might be a cuckoo, and that is the type of Synodontis that will eat the eggs of cichlids and then drop their eggs, which look just like the cichlid eggs, and then the female cichlids will pick them up, and the cichlids will actually carry around and sort of incubate, be surrogate moms to the cuckoo Synodontis. And this one was smaller than the Synodontis in the 100, but immediately passed him up in size and got so big that I had to put him in the 100. I love the temperament, and I love the way they move around, the face, the activity level. Synodontis cats are really my favorites. I also have some clowns in the 100. For those of you who follow my channel, those are Los Tres Amigos. And so there are three of them in here. Those are the two smaller ones, the ones that you just saw. The bigger one is hiding in the back. And they hold their own. They get right at the top and eat with the other fish. and then they come down and pick up any morsels. I also have an albino bushynose in the 100, and again, he's a very hard-working fish, and I really like the albino. So that wraps it up for the oddball and rare fish in the tanks. I really thank you for tuning in and following this Everything series. I've had a lot of fun putting it together. Kind of gives me a video record of what it is that's going on. So I appreciate you supporting it and watching. Be sure to hit that bell and sub and all that good stuff. And don't forget, I really mean it when I say, you rock, my friend.